Earthly Bodies came out in 2021, and this was the original cover, which I absolutely loved. I still really love it. One of the reasons, well, there's a few reasons why I wanted to change it. The main one being is that the next book, The Dark Beneath Us, is actually a prequel to Earthly Bodies, and I had never planned on writing in series, but sometimes the characters just come back. I didn't realise they had, but one character in particular was under a different name in the newer book, and it was only when I read it through that I realised it was actually a character from Earthly Bodies. Might give you a bit of a clue if you read Earthly Bodies. So Earthly Bodies is set mostly in like a dystopian near future, with some things that are uncannily occurring now, some characters that are uncannily around now, feature in the book, and the next book that's coming out, The Dark Beneath Us, is a prequel to all that, and it's kind of sort of like a genesis moment of the fungi, really. I don't want to give you any spoilers, but yeah, that's basically it. So the other reason is that even though this cover is totally gorgeous, and I totally fell for it when my book designer Marta created it for me, it doesn't show fungi on the cover, and if as you may know, if you're a self-published author, you do need to kind of show the genre really quite clearly on the book cover, because that's what sells the book at the end of the day. And people obviously did buy the book, but me being me, I wanted to kind of keep the mushroom element a surprise, when really it's the mushroom element that is actually going to sell the book, because people who are interested in that, my cat just wants to come in. There she is. What are you doing, Meg? Maggie? She doesn't like closed doors, as most cats don't. So, yeah, where was I? So it wasn't explicit enough, and if someone is into spore horror, they weren't going to look at my book and think that's what it was about, especially because the blurb didn't really tell that either. And sometimes being too mysterious is definitely a thing. Like, I wanted people to discover what it was about as they read the book, and I wanted it to kind of be a surprise. But with hindsight, it was my first book, and I think maybe I should have been more explicit. So let's stop banging on about that for a minute. So the new cover is this. You can see there, it is covered in fungi. I'm still working on the back cover, and I'm really pleased with it. And I have not got a copy yet of the next one, but they fit together both ways. They can display them together, and the Kickstarter will have both editions in hardback as well. So for all you collectors out there who like books, who like displaying books, as you can see, I am very similar. Books to me are physical objects. I want to be able to hold it. I want to be able to treasure it and look at it and pick it up and feel it in my hand and smell it, and you know, all those things that a physical object gives that a digital object sadly doesn't. I'm all for digital books. Obviously ebooks are great, and they're great if you have a heavy reading habit and you don't want to have haven't got a lot of space. So, you know, swings and roundabouts. I do have a lot of ebooks myself, but I always prefer to read a physical copy. Anyway, so that is kind of the reason it's more explicit about what it is. And at the end of the day, it's not, even though it's about mushrooms and stuff, it's not just, that's not the message of the book, you know what I mean? The message of the book is much broader So I'm not really spoiling anything by having them on the front cover, but there was a definite element of me thinking that, me wanting my readers to be surprised. But you know, it's such there's such a growing genre of this spore horror now that I should really be more explicit about having it on the front cover, and so that's what I've done. So this old cover, these gorgeous old ones, they're still available. They're still available on all the retailers, and they will be available for the foreseeable. I am going to change the cover on the retailers at some point, but it will be exclusive to Kickstarter. The hardbacks will be exclusive to Kickstarter anyway. And so if you want this cover, if you love it as much as I do, I've obviously got some spare copies, but if you love this cover, then now is the time to get it, really, if you want the original. Yeah, so that's me.